Okay. I'll send you a request.
All
Just
right.
see.
Your mic is comfortable. Just text situation. I think I'm centered on both screens.
I don't know if I'm centered, but
Yeah.
we'll definitely do it this way. Yay!
All right. This is good. All right. Cool. This is more angled and this is straightforward.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Let's give it 2-3 minutes for everybody to be settled, and off we go.
Awesome.
Yep, we are live right now, everywhere. Si vous avez des amis, nous sommes sur YouTube et nous sommes en live sur Instagram. Hi, Viola.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Thanks for having me on.
I'm a little hot because I had a party today while waiting
Yeah.
for you.
I saw your little warm up moves. Of course, you're hot.
Well. How you doing? So, thank you for joining me today. I wanted to talk to you because there's one word that came to my mind. I see it everywhere as lovely pieces, by the way. I need that
Thank
jump.
you.
So you gotta have
One
it.
of them.
Lakelle. Lakelle.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Miss Viola Welang, you are one of the founder of Lakelle, but you are with your sister, if I'm
That's
not
right.
mistaken. So there's just the two of you?
Two. Yep. Two.
Wow. Okay. So tell us a little bit about you. Where did you start your journey? Where did you study? What you do? What's your
Right. Well, so obviously I'm from Cameroon. I grew up in Buea and I went to schools in the Southwest. I went to Sika and then I went to high school at the BHS Buea. And then I moved to the US after high school to pursue my studies. I was a bit undecided initially as far as what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to do something within business. So I stayed undecided for a while, about 2 years actually, and then it was getting to the point where you needed to decide what to do. And I kind of looked at everything, all my options, and I was like, I need something that would, kind of give me a good foundation with regards to business because I knew that eventually I wanted to go out and do business for myself. So I landed on accounting because I do feel like it keeps you understanding what your numbers are, which is really essential in running a business. So I did accounting, graduated, worked in accounting for a little while, tried the accounting firm route, hated it. Ended up doing just financial accounting, like industry accounting as they call it, and I did that for a while, and then I went back to get my MBA. And I moved to DC. I had moved to DC at the time. I did my undergrad in Louisiana in Grambling State University. So I got my MBA at Howard University. Go HU. And while I
That's so
was in
proud of this
school,
school. Like everybody always do like a little go
I
go.
know. And while I was in school, in the midst of just trying to find a side hustle, I had picked up, little accounting companies on the side that I was helping them just kind of manage their books. And I realized that, what, there is something there with like small companies not having enough expert support in accounting. And so I started, a business, just kind of, that's on another tangent. Just working with small businesses to really provide them the functional needs that they can't afford, that is necessary for them to grow. So started off went straight out of school doing that, and I was like, you know what, I'm young. um this is the time to try. If it doesn't work, I can always go back and get a job. So, and I've been kind of doing that ever since. And then the way I segue to with Lakelle is my sister, when I moved to DC, I actually lived with her, and then she ended up moving back home.
Hmm.
We both have a strong affinity for just African development, Cameroon development, business in general. We grew up in a very entrepreneurial household. So we definitely knew that we wanted to do something together in Cameroon. So we were looking at options. And, at some point, we actually thought about franchising one of these big name industry brands here, like fast fashion. So we thought about franchising H&M. Actually, we actually reached out to them, and they told us that they were not look like the way their business model was set up. They did not do franchising. They basically own all their locations. Long story short, we tabled that. But the reason why we initially thought about that was because we felt like there was a need around just affordable fashion, just having stuff that is affordable for people to wear. We do have some options. You have like the friperie, but when you looked at just just options for things that are coming up, just trendy fashion and stuff like that, you had boutiques that would import stuff, and obviously the markup on those would they would have to have a higher price point, and we just wanted something that for some kind of a middle class, something that was affordable, and so that was the need that we're really trying to fill. That's why we had reached out to H&M. So, but that need continues to exist. So, at that point, we were like, you know what? Long story short, we knew that eventually we'd want to have our own fashion house and provide that service directly. So we had to just wait for the right time. So we're both moms, married, and you know how it is with kids, and just finding the right time where we're kind of settled with the baby making and just being able to focus on this. So we actually started while we both have. It's funny, our kids are both at the same age, and so after we had the first, we kind of started, but it just needs time, it needs a lot of energy, and we were just kind of dabbling in the market and testing out different models. We started by actually outsourcing, so like we would come up with the styles and give it to the tailors to do it, and that didn't work out. But it just took, it was a lot of energy to try to have your own manufacturing, so we had to just kind of wait until the right moment, and that's basically when we went full force after all the kids were out of the way. So that's my long journey.
Seems like it took you years to plan and to kind of get things together, right?
Yeah, I definitely, yeah, somewhat. The actual execution planning wasn't that much of a long time. I think it was more so just finding the right time for us, and we we did not get into the market like head on, just like ready to scale. We knew that there was a lot to learn in the industry. What would never really been in the fashion industry before. We have, other business experience, but definitely not manufacturing. There's just so much to learn. And so we really were intentional about just being slow with the growth so that we can learn stuff and not get too flustered. And so, yeah, so it felt like it was a lot of time, but we're really being slow at the beginning.
So you mentioned earlier that your journey started in Cameroon. So basically, you did your high school, primary in Cameroon, and your college in the US. Am I right?
That's right.
So is there something that you learned from Cameroon during that time that helped you be who you are today, the woman I'm talking
Right.
to?
Let me tell you, Cameroon, I just feel like that stage in my life, I was so young, and, between boarding school and being home, I, there's obviously things to learn in every situation, but I feel like I really came into my own after I left Cameroon,
Okay.
in just even understanding my personality, who I am. Because, the boarding school environment is a very sheep like type environment. It's just like you're doing mundane stuff with everyone. And I mean, there's definitely aspects of discipline there. I made a lot of friends that are, man, really lifelong. Um, as far as I can, yeah, that's basically it. I mean, but I think for me, I really blossomed into myself when I moved to the US, and just kind of explored different aspects of myself that I did not otherwise know.
So when you manage with Sharon, like the popular say that a lot of people tend to say is doing business in Cameroon is the hardest thing. I mean, I don't know about business. I don't own a business right now, but I tend to believe that business is hard in general. I don't think
Right.
it's like a smooth cruise or something. But when people keep emphasizing, saying that in Cameroon is so tough, how do you guys cope? Because you said it yourself. Sharon is busy. She has a family. She has a full-time job, a very demanding one for that matter. You are busy. You have a family. You have a full-time job. So how did you put that together to make it the Lakelle? Because I feel like Lakelle is a booming success.
Thank you. So, man, we really, by the way, I say that if you can make it in Cameroon, you can make it anywhere. I mean, Cameroon is another beast. But like you rightly said, I think business is challenging regardless, and then you add that layer of of our beautiful country to it. And I'm trying to figure out why that is for us. I can only speak from our perspective. From when I look at our whole value chain, there's every aspect in it that will require any kind of engaging in the resources in Cameroon. It limits us because from the raw material, we have limited access to the human resources. I think that we can definitely benefit from having better training. So, just every aspect is a little more challenging. And maybe other African countries can relate, but, my experiences in Cameroon, how do we make it work? I think, so Sharon and I have the exact same background. We have an accounting degree and and an MBA. We worked in different industries, so I think we have a really strong business background, a strong business acumen. So with regards to the business side of it, yeah, I think that really helped to balance of really understanding what our model is, just staying focused on what our vision is. I think that is really important. We're very clear on what we want to achieve as far as our big picture vision. We're clear on what the need is in the market, and so just really staying focused on that, because a lot of things can derail you. The challenges that come up, it can really derail you from your initial vision. So I think being grounded in what our vision is, and then just really hard work. I mean, we work so hard. We wear so many hats. We have a team, but we are constantly working. So that's basically it.
Let me try to get an example out of you, because I'm trying to think. Viola, you live in the US, but you seem to be so in touch with what's going on in that business.
Absolutely.
Sarah lives in Cameroon. She too is in touch with it, though she has so much on her plate. So you get your fabric from Cameroon, correct?
Correct.
You get it done, like the manufacturer, everything is done in Cameroon. So it's a made in Cameroon business, like people will say right now.
Right.
Okay. So who does the design? How do you get the design? Like,
let me break it down for you. I think that's
goes to the market to get the fabric.
This is so funny. Yeah. So I live here. I am 100% involved in everything that goes on. There's obviously some things that I can't have, kind of insight or things in or whatever. But just to kind of give you a rundown, the designing, my sister and I, we are the chief designers. We come up with the designs and we source the fabric. So literally, and she sources the fabrics. When I'm in Cameroon, I get a chance to go to the markets with her and meet with our vendors. We work with the same vendors all the time. And she is on FaceTime with me while we're sourcing the fabric. Like literally, and everybody in the market, they know me. They like when I came to Cameroon, they were like, "Oh, that's the sister who is always on the phone," because we literally have to do it together. It's just so much more value in just choosing the right fabrics and things like that. So we do that. As far as what other components? So the actual manufacturing, we have a team of very hardworking. We're really blessed. We're lucky to have good people, and we value them, and we really make sure that we let them know that, so that they also are more engaged working with us. And so our production team is obviously managed. We have someone that leads that team. We have a manager that kind of oversees all the moving pieces and so many different things. And then we have the salesperson. We have 2 salespeople in the front office to kind of manage all the customer service and things like that. But again, in the background, we're constantly managing customer service, i.e. Sharon and myself. We have so many WhatsApp groups because we're in different places. So we have a WhatsApp group for our systems. And so we're constantly interacting with each other, even though we're in different locations. That's how we make it work. We just communicate really well. And it's almost like I'm there, but I'm not. But we're constantly talking. I do the accounting, even though I'm here. So even with the cash flow management, I'm doing cash flow reports every day. If there's an issue, we're resolving on our WhatsApp group or on a call. So it's almost like it's a remote job, honestly, for me. So we really work hand in hand. It's a lot of communication, but we make it work.
I'm impressed. I gotta say, kudos
Thank
to you guys, because you're on different time frame as well. Because
Yes,
sometimes when she's sleeping, you're up. When she's up, you're sleeping.
absolutely.
Unless somebody must be sleeping, working on the two times at the same time, like you don't sleep.
No, you're absolutely right, especially with regards to the sourcing. When we're sourcing for material, it's usually early in Cameroon, so I have to, it's 3 a.m. and I just have to set my alarm and wake up during that time. So we are on different time zones. There's some meetings that happen in Cameroon that I actually have to be a part of. For meeting with like an external stakeholder, I would have to set my alarm and wake up at 6 a.m. and everybody's sleeping. I'm dressed up and just really chilling and having a meeting, so we just kind of make it work. A lot of times I have to just kind of work with Cameroon time because I'm the only one here, but it's fun work. I love it.
So who came up with the idea? Was it you or was it Sharon to go with the line? And who chose the name?
When I say we are really like twin sisters, it's really weird. Like, we're not twins, by the way, but we already knew. It's almost like every time somebody has an idea, the other person just kind of concurs, right? So we already knew we really wanted, from the H&M experience, we wanted to have our own fashion house. And so that was kind of set in stone. As far as the name, we were like, okay, so we're ready to do this. What name are we going to use? Let's think about names. So in my mind, I was thinking about that name because a funny story. So when we're younger, Sharon's nickname was Lakelle. And then because I just wanted everything that my big sister had, I was like, you know what? I want my nickname to also be something similar. So instead of coming up with my own name, I just took the Kel out of Lakelle. So some of my friends actually still call me Viola Welang. Christine actually calls me Viola Welang. So funny. But so her name was Sharon Lakelle and my name was Viola Welang. So when we were trying to figure out a name, that was the top of my head. For some reason, it just took me back there. So, but I think, and for her, it was this exact same sentiment. So when we're talking about it, I was like, what about this name? She was like, man, that's exactly what she was thinking. That's how we went with it. So we're thinking the same thing and we brought it up and we're in sync. So that's the name. It was a childhood nickname.
So how do you find the competition back home? Because I feel like we have a lot of business going on right now. Things are kind of picking up in the fashion, clothing. We have people doing dress, and I'm seeing all of them online. So they have a very big presence on internet, and it seems like even on the ground they're known.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. When we started, it wasn't a lot. I can't quite remember. We had a handful of people, and I think it's been great because a lot of people have really kind of, come out, and it's great for a couple of reasons. Everyone has a different sense of what they feel good in or what they want to wear. So the more options that people have, the better. I look at it like this: like in the US, if you go to the mall, you're gonna have H&M, you have Zara, you have Mango. There's like a million stores, and you literally can go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, and just pick whatever speaks to you. So I think it's great for people to have options, and I think that it's a good industry. If the industry grows, then I think we benefit. It's more. It also really kind of drives the made in Cameroon point home more if it's more of us. And at the end, we all benefit because you have more people really trying to patronize and consume local. So I think it's good for made in Cameroon. It's good for the consumer. It's good for fashion. At the end, it's good for all of us.
Let me just ask, do you have two competitors that you know of? Two brands that you think are quite, people to be watching on the side, just in case? You never know.
I think we are really aware of a lot of brands that come up. So we know most. If it's fairly new, maybe I don't know, but we are fairly aware because the internet space is it's a small space, so you would probably go to maybe the same events, or it's just a small community. So I'm aware of most of the brands. Again, if I'm not aware, it's probably very new, and maybe they don't have a social media presence. So I have a long list. So the ones is the same ones I know. But I think it's good. Like I said, I think it's really great. I mean, I think even for myself. Lakelle cannot make everything that Viola want to wear, right? Like, because we going to different places, you need different types of fashion. Like, whether it's wedding, whether it's casual, we are more on the simple chic lane. So, but we need things for every occasion. So, I think it's great. But yeah, I'm fully aware of a lot of the brands.
So let me ask you this: you started with the women clothing, and then you moved to men's. Now you're doing children as well.
Right.
You had a launch for a Christmas line not so long ago. That was pretty nice, actually.
Thank you.
So what should we expect from Lakelle? Like, what's your conclusion? I mean, it's not a secret because you don't have to tell us, but is there more? Or
but we just want to put out good fashion every single week. It's something that people can just kind of identify with and make them look good. What can you expect? We hope to grow more, reach out to more people. There's so many people that out of the internet space that don't know us. So we're just focusing on really growing, reaching out to more people within Africa. Even our presence has really been felt in some parts of Africa. So looking to nurture those lines and just kind of expand them. I think that that's basically our focus for this season. Grow. Oh, and we will eventually want to get into the accessory space and grow. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah.
Do you have a store, like a physical presence in Cameroon? If yes, where is it?
Yeah, we actually have a showroom in Bonanjo. It is NFC building somewhere on the second floor of the NFC building in Bonanjo. We do a lot of our sales online, which is really impressive. With the really leveraging the mobile money and Orange Money and all of that. So we do a lot of sales online. We ship everywhere in the country. We ship to Yaoundé, to even within Douala. We have most people order online and it gets delivered. We ship to Kribi, Boya, everywhere basically. We have great partnerships with the transportation companies. We have local partnerships with local companies. I Agri app is one of them, and they basically help to do our local transportations. We have a couple rounds each day. So yeah, we're based in Bonanjo, but we ship everywhere.
I think it's a great thing. And come to think about it, Viola, you work full time and you are into business as well. You work for Business Essential. You are literally the managing director of Business Essential. What is Business Essential about? Because from my little search, I realized it's about, it's like you helping people with their companies to go in the right direction.
Right. So that's my full-time job, and basically the Business Essentials is a company that helps small businesses basically improve their productivity or their performance, or and we do that really by helping with having clear like a strategic vision, a strategic plan. And then we also help with financial management, as well as just having streamlined systems. I mentioned that I got into business right out of grad school. And so this was really born out of my experience working with small businesses and really seeing the issues that were reoccurring with every single client I had. It was the same things that I felt were really challenging as far as them being able to grow. So when I take a step back and I say, if you were to look at a small business, what are the core areas that I felt like they did not get right or they were having issues with, as far as, because small businesses work so hard, they're always hustling. And I'm like, there has to be a better way to be a small business owner that doesn't require you just kind of going crazy. So for me, I was trying to figure out what are those fundamental issues that are really a stumbling block. And those were the three areas. It's just like strategic direction, systems, and financial management. So that's what the company does. And we work with clients in the DC metro area. And yeah, that's how we help our clients.
Is it possible for you to also consider client from abroad? Let's say if a Cameroonian wants to start, considering the market, you're very familiar with Cameroon, would you be able to help them to do like a remote consultation or something?
Absolutely. I actually have a couple of things in the work right now with just kind of foreign clients. I think the way the world is set up right now, it's really amazing. You can do work from anywhere. The same way I'm able to work, I work full time for Lakelle basically, and I do that remotely. It's the same way I can also help other companies around the world. So absolutely.
As a business and entrepreneur, basically you're a professional business somebody. You're working in business, you own a business. So with that experience and everything right now, what would you say is the fear that usually hold people back? Because I feel like, I'll take my example as simple as that. I have so many ideas sometimes, okay? But I think there's a big gap between just thinking it and implementing.
Right.
So I call it the fear, but I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for any woman especially women, Cameroonian women, when we talk about, that want to go into entrepreneurship? What would you tell them to do or to avoid doing?
So for me, I think that it definitely has to get out of your head. Like you have to, it's never going to be perfect. So you have to just be open that, it's not, the idea is not going to be perfectly formulated. As I think as long as you know what your vision is and what the need that you're trying to help or, to fill is, just kind of just start. And it's going to be a learning experience, and you just have to, you're never going to have everything right before you start, so you might as well just start now. For me, the biggest advice would be to take a business model canvas and go through those 9 questions. You can find that canvas anywhere. And what I see a lot is, and not only for Cameroon, just anywhere, it's like sometimes you have a great idea and it's not well thought out as far as the execution. So really just going through that exercise, and with it just asks you, what are your key partners? What are your, customers? What is the value add? It just asks you key questions. So you go through that exercise and it really helps you get a better idea of what your actual business model is. And during that process, you're going to see hiccups with your current plan and see if there's some things that maybe you hadn't thought about. Because, we can think about the idea and like, oh, I want to do this. But then you can, and it can be just the idea. It's like the model helps you go through the execution. And that would be my biggest advice, to really just kind of go through that so that you can, know how it's going to be executed. And just start, just start from where you are. Don't wait until you have XYZ dollars. I think that, if you're making something or it's a service, worst case, in fact, if it's a service, it's even easier to start. Like if you're making stuff, you might need some money to actually buy raw material. But if it means, just doing one at a time and just putting it out there, just start from wherever you are. Don't wait until, you get to a certain point.
Yeah, because I also heard a lot of people always say, oh, I'm trying to gather the capital, blah, blah, blah. So basically you're saying, don't wait for that capital, use what you have and then build it from there, right?
Absolutely. And it actually even helps, because I think the more you start getting engaged, there's some things that you're never going to know until you start. And it just helps you to be more prepared, because you're going to start seeing how, customers are responding to the need. you might pivot based on the responses you're getting, and you're not going to know until you actually start. So I say, just start, and then as the money's coming, as you're evolving, and then you can just kind of go with the flow. When you talk with any established business, a lot of them, had XYZ idea, and then as you get into the market, things start to change a little bit, not completely where you're losing yourself, but just the realities on the ground are different. So, it's better to learn those things when you don't have a million invested, but versus just waiting for all this money and then you starting like, oh shit, this is not even gonna work. So
Yeah, when you talk like that, I think people will hear that very loudly. Nobody wants to lose money, especially not millions. We rather lose 100 francs than
right,
lose millions. So,
yeah.
what is Viola coping mechanism when things get tough?
Ooh, man, you asking me some deep questions. Coping mechanism, man, you have to be resilient as a business person, because it's always gonna be some tough news every week, So I think for me, I'm just grounded in my spirituality. I'm a Christian, and I just know that everything happens for a reason. And sometimes a no is just getting to yes, and just trying to move beyond whatever circumstance. I mean, stuff happens every day. You just have to be like, you know what, you got to keep pushing, and then you just, because you can't stop, you can't, I mean, you can feel discouraged for a minute, but you have to figure out how to move forward, because you just have to. You have to. So for me, that, I think that force comes from my spirituality, and I think everyone can find what really kind of keeps them moving and keeps them grounded, and just kind of hold on to that. For me, it's faith.
So, what do you know now that you wish younger Viola knew then?
Mm.
I don't know which younger you can pick. It could be college Viola, it could be high school Viola, or it could be young adult Viola, whichever you think needed this advice the most, but you know it now, but you wish you knew it then. What would you tell her?
To be honest, I think that just knowing that you have what it takes, because I think a lot of times for me, I was like, okay, I need this, I need to add this, I need to learn this, and you find examples of people that have not gone to college or have not had the experience that you felt like, or I felt like I needed, and they're able to do really well for themselves in business. So just knowing that I have, just being confident that I have all that it takes to do what I want to do, I think that would have helped me from some, like, oh my gosh, moments. So
What is your opinion on the image that us Cameroonian ladies are projecting? As a whole, what do you think our image is like? Is it something that you think is positive? Is it negative? If it's positive, why would you say so? And if it's negative, what can we do to improve it?
So for me, just to be honest, I have actually been very impressed since I really got connected on the ground with the entrepreneur type of circle. I've been impressed by just how many women, people in general, but women in particular, young Cameroonians, are just doing stuff. I mean, it is so impressive. I have nothing else to say. Like, I'm just impressed. Like, people are just really out there doing stuff. So I think the future is bright if we can just kind of keep this momentum one generation up. I think for us growing up, we didn't really have that. But now I think with maybe just the way the world has become so globalized and small, I think more people are seeing what they can get into and really following, out of passion, out of need or whatever, just really getting into different businesses. And it's really impressive. So yeah, I love it. I'll just say my only advice would be, just like with everything else, is like, just learn more of what you don't know, so you can, take the business out of whatever stage it is and be able to grow it into wherever you want it to be. So yeah.
So I want to ask this. In this Lakelle venture, what was the hardest moment? Like, what was the most challenging part of it? I believe it's certainly not choosing material. Was it dealing with people? Was it coming up with the designs?
No,
Price?
I think, man, it's a lot of challenging moments. I'm trying to see the most challenging. Hmm, I think for us, it's so many examples, but
Just pick any, it's fine. I mean, there's
I
no
think for us is really learning the industry,
Mm.
because I mean, we are talking about textile. It's a whole different industry from what I have been used to. So garment manufacturing is so many, because there's multiple ways to do this, right? You can do, so the H&M model, they actually have their designs and they have the production outsourced. Now the Zara model, they have production and then they have the designs, so they have the whole line. So trying to do the Zara model is like, you have to figure out production with no production experience. You have to figure out, just, and it's a lot that goes into that. So whether it's sourcing, understanding all the different fabrics on this. I mean, we have gone through all kinds of just training and learning stuff, and we're still learning so that we can continue to improve. But understanding the types of fabrics and understanding patterns, how to, standardize your stuff, the sizing, and we're still growing and still, working on improving our finished product. But yeah, I think just really understanding the industry, that probably has to be the biggest challenge. And like I said, it continues to be a challenge. I think another thing is just having the right human resources. I think a lot of people can relate to that. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. We try to, just incentivize people to really be a part of the team as much as we can. But, especially when you're dealing with fabric that is not the Ankara fabric, which the trained tailors are used to using, is challenging for them as well. So we have a lot of people that would come in and the first day they're like, yeah, this is not for me. So just really finding good people that can come in and learn how to maneuver these Western fabrics and provide the quality standards that you're looking for. But yeah, those would be the two big things.
You know what? I'm so impressed because Lakelle, I'm thinking about Lakelle right now, and I'm thinking about how we manage our home. When we are in Cameroon, when you have when you have house helps, for example, right? You rely on them a lot. You rely on them for your house to stay clean. You rely on them for your food, and you rely on them for your children, right? So it's almost the same. Lakelle is your little baby, right? You rely on all those people to play their part for things to work out. Because if people don't show up to work, they mess a lot of things up.
There's no dream without the team. And we tell them that so that they really understand that, man, this cannot happen without you guys. So we're very humble about it. Yeah, we thank God that we have the team that we have, and really just try to nurture and nourish that relationship so we keep having the engagement that we're getting. We're blessed because it's not easy to find the right human resources in Cameroon.
I agree. You definitely brought because there's this challenge as well about the mentalities. You gotta change it. You gotta work with them, and you seem to acknowledge that. And you seem to be doing great.
Yeah, well, it's a work in progress, and I think the good thing is, like, once we had the initial group of people that started, there was a lot of mindset changes that had to happen, especially with just them and the understanding the value that they bring to the big picture, and just trying to have them be professional. The way I see it, they are as much of a professional as myself or the GM or whomever. So for me, the culture that we really wanted to kind of feed is like, we're all professionals. We're all a part of this team. And if one piece is missing, it's incomplete. So having them to really understand that, it took a while, but once we got that initial first group of people to really kind of be on track with with the vision of how we wanted our culture to be, all the new additions, it becomes easier for them because the status quo is like right here, and they're like, oh, this is how we're doing. Oh, okay, this is what we do here. Yeah, so it's easy for them to just kind of come in and follow through, or it's easier, not easy. So we're grateful for that, and hopefully, as we grow, it becomes more easy for for the new additions to just kind of fall right into place.
So let me ask you this. I spoke to one of your brand model.
Oh, okay.
Yes. She says she's one of your plus size model.
Oh, is that Eva?
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
So I spoke to her and she was so proud to represent your brand because I want to know, why did you go that route? Why did you not just stop at women? Because usually what people do, and it's not a bad thing per se, but what a lot of models, especially in Cameroon, people just stop at that,
Right.
They focus on us women more, and they don't really think children, they don't really think men. Boy, I bought one outfit for a child one time. It was about, I think it was 30,000.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, it was 30,000. I was shocked, but I had no choice. You need to go visit the child. You have nothing. You need to buy something. Okay, and
Right.
she wasn't a baby anymore. I would have bought diapers. So it was just a short and t-shirt, 30K. Can you imagine?
I mean, and that's where we come in, and that to me was where the need was. It's like if you're trying to get something that is not frippery, I mean, you're looking at spending like 20K, 30K. And in my mind, I'm like, man, you gotta be making, how much do you have to make if you're trying to just have a couple nice clothes a month? I just felt like that wasn't realistic. But let me just say, we love Eva. She's amazing, and we wanted to have that representation because from the very beginning. So just to kind of speak a little more on Lakelle and what we're all about, it's not just providing uh, affordable options, but also I think providing stuff that really represents our physiology, like a physique as African women. So we're not just kind of left with almost like, okay, this is the stuff that you guys didn't want, we're gonna send in this way.
Mm.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but for us, we wanted to be what created. Lakelle is made for Africans. That's point blank period. Now, if you're a foreigner and you happen to buy it, that's fine. But just like how Zara will make their stuff for that physique, we are making it for this physique. So we're very intentional about that, and that included our sizing and our size range. So from the very beginning, we've offered the whole size range all the way to 50. But we found that because it wasn't quite represented on our page as far as our models and stuff, some people didn't know that we were representing the bigger sizes. So we really actively looked for someone that we could just kind of use, that can showcase what we're about and could represent us well. So that's why we partnered with Eva for that, and she's been doing really amazing just to kind of show the range of what our outfits, the range that we have, and so that people are more and more now resonating with the fact that we do sizes for bigger sizes as well. As far as kids and men, our big goal, like I said at the beginning, you got to be clear on what your vision is. We have a vision that is very clear. So as far as the implementing, we have a roadmap to how we're going to get that done. And this was part of the big picture, but it was just a matter of, when it came to fall into place. So that was always there. We wanted to cater to everyone in the market, men, women, and kids. And specifically, we really wanted to be very comfortable with understanding just the garment production, and really, like I said, grow slowly and not take on everything at once. And that's why we kind of staggered it the way we did, so we can be very comfortable as we add on the new just kind of the new segments.
Wow, I see. So as with the International Women Day around the corner, what will be your message to our fellow Cameroonian ladies?
Man,
Yes, I'm so proud of us, as you said, that we're doing great. We're into entrepreneurship, we're go-getters. What would you tell us? And think not just about adult women, but also think about that young lady that could be your daughter watching you right now and having an idea about her future. What would you want her to know?
I mean, we definitely, that's one of my favorite days when you look at all the holidays. So we definitely try to do something to show that we have a strong affinity for Women's Day. Last year we did a raffle, like a gift card, a 30,000 gift card shopping spree. So we posted a picture. You had to comment and nominate someone and say why you felt like they deserved a Women's Day like shopping spree, and it was really a fun activity, and just kind of goes to show why we did that, because there were so many nominations for so many wonderful women doing great things in their families, in their communities. Unfortunately, we only had to pick one, but yeah, that's how we feel about Women's Day, about women. We are women, so obviously we like to encourage other and empower other entrepreneurs or women in the community. I think that women definitely carry the community. So we want to do our own little part to kind of just kind of empower the women that we can, to push the agenda forward. But this year, obviously we have something planned each year, so you gotta have to stay tuned for that. We just to plug in, to we have a non-profit that we launched last year called the Lakelle Foundation.
Okay.
And I don't say this lightly, that we strongly believe in women. We actually, to the point where our non-profit is focused on just empowering women and entrepreneurship. So, in the first project that we engaged in, was to just kind of pick one business and mentor. So we are in the process of finalizing that. But again, it had to be, well, it was open to everyone, but our organization focuses on women empowerment and entrepreneurship. So we feel very strongly about about Women's Day. But yeah.
At least I'm glad to hear that not only you feel strong about it, but you're also doing something about it, because I've had various opinion about this women day thing, and everybody's taking it a different way. We have the fabric, which is what everybody knows, but it goes way beyond the fabric. There's a action required. There's a
Right.
message that needs to be heard. Is way bigger than just wearing a fabric and looking good.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I want to say it's almost the only. I mean, it's a big deal at Lakelle, right? We have the fabric not only for our team members but for their spouse. We also have a company, just a company day where everybody gets off and we go out and eat together at a restaurant, all on the same table, and just get to know each other on just like on a non-work basis, and the employees appreciate it. I think it's also a great way to connect more. But yeah, it's a big deal for us.
So are you done in your brand ambassador, or do you recruit? Because I see, a lot of shops sometimes have like, do you want to become a brand ambassador for X or for Y? Do you do that too? Or because I looked at your website and I kind of see the same faces coming back. So I'm asking myself, are you done, or are you still open for more?
Right.
Your business, so clearly
Yeah.
you're doing some job.
I mean, so we have obviously models that we work with. So those are not quite in rotation. It's just we just have the same faces. We try to. You might say new face this week, this month rather. But as far as the brand ambassador and the role that Eva is playing for us, this is fairly new to us. So we obviously are open to how it grows and evolves. But to be quite honest, we haven't thought about adding brand ambassadors and things like that. But this is a fairly new thing for us. But yeah, as far as the models, we're always open to rotating. We have people reach out to us and we save the information. And but yeah, you see some new faces this week.
Well, I'll be on the lookout. I'm saying to you again, please make sure you keep my jumpsuit. I insist. I like the white and I like the red one. Once I get past and find somebody that will bring it to me, I expect to have it over.
Awesome. We ship. We actually have customers in the US. It's always a joy when I see a notification for a new customer in the US. I'm like, that's awesome. But we ship everywhere, and we have actually DHL. We worked out some really preferred rates with DHL, and it's not the best, but it's definitely better than what we had before. And especially our African customers have really been able to benefit from those rates. I mean, like really, really inexpensive to ship within Africa, most countries anyway.
So if you're in Cameroon right now, I would strongly suggest if you want to buy something from somebody, it may not be the usual kaba that we wear every day. You can go to Lakelle, they're in Yaoundé, they're in Douala, and I think right? You do delivery.
In fact, we're actually launching something. We actually launched that already, but we have like gift cards and people are using it. But we're really kind of integrating into our website where you can, because we have a lot of people sometimes want to buy gift cards from abroad for their loved ones in Cameroon. And so, but it usually was just through like exchanges on email or, DM. But now we're integrating it into the website where you can actually just click buy and then we send it to the person and they have that store credit and they can come in and use. So, yeah.
Amazing. You're all modern, huh? You don't want Cameroon to stay behind, do you?
We're trying to.
No, that's pretty good. That's actually very convenient. And yes, DHL is still a little bit pricey, especially when you're trying to consume locally like me from abroad.
Right. I know.
But we're trying, and I know you're trying as well. And that being said, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Thank you for taking the time to come talk to us. We appreciate you. We love Lakelle. We definitely want to see more of Lakelle. Like I said, all those who are in Cameroon right now, I'm talking to you because I can see you. Bring some Lakelle pieces to your spouses, to your friends, to your sisters. They will not hate them. Instead of buying H&M, let's buy Cameroonian product because we have great talent, we have great product. Let's start consuming Cameroonians.
Thank you so much. This was great. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the work you're doing. I think it's really great to just kind of showcase, what other women are doing out there, and hopefully we're able to motivate people. So yeah, it was awesome.
I'm really hoping that little conversations like this will take us places, to just know each other, know that the struggle is real everywhere.
Right. It is real.
That is real in one place and not the other. It's real and it's terrible everywhere. But we have to overcome it and we need to hang tight. Together, we should be able to do it. Happy weekend, everybody. Go have a little bit of wine. I'm not allowed to.
You're not? What?
I'm going on vacation next week, so I'm hoping those edges will be bye-bye. So
I hear you.
So, but I'm trying to get my Lakelle stuff for my next vacation. So it's a special year for me. I'm trying to do a 3.5 reloading. Yay.
Yes.
Doesn't want to let me be great, but we try to push.
No, COVID needs to literally be. I don't want to hear about COVID in the summer because my summer plans, don't do that. Don't do it.
Hopefully COVID has not affected the business because sadly I'm hearing Cameroon is about to shut down that restricting things again. I don't know how it will be for you, but
yeah, it definitely when it happened the first time, I think they were kind of strict on the lockdown that initially. It didn't last for too long, so we had to do some adjustments. We actually were more concerned, I think, about just the well-being of the country really and just the world in general. So we're like, what can we do to help? And at that time, it wasn't a lot of masks. So we literally just kind of came up with a pattern, made some masks, and we're just giving out masks to our customers so people could just get their hands on stuff. Because at that time, like I said, it was brand new. Right now, there's a lot of it in the market. At that time, it wasn't. So we're glad to have been able to support, our customers at that point. But yeah, hopefully this time we're more prepared and we'll take it one day at a time, really.
Well, we'll all pray for the best and hope for the best. Thank you again. Have a lovely weekend and enjoy
Thank
yourself.
you.
Bye, guys. It was Liz from Dio and Viola Welang from Lakelle. Take care.
Thank you. How do you turn this up? Oh, done.
This one